feel like I drifted off a little bit, but I said some good shit. My dad, he's a bass player, and he was part of like a couple Haitian bands. So I used to always go to shows, and like I would always hear music inside the house and whatnot. But another reason I really got into music is it was my way to kind of talk about things that I didn't like to converse about in real life. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things that, I seen or experienced that I didn't really feel comfortable talking about. So music was always the outlet that I had to speak on those things. And to this day, that's pretty much what drives my music and my thoughts when it comes to putting music together. It's really me being in my mind and my soul and really writing my pain out. Because at the end of the day, sometimes you feel like you can confide in individuals, but then you're afraid that what you tell the individual, they'll take your story or they'll take your pain, your vulnerability, and use it against you. So that's why, like, yeah, a lot of the things that I grew up seeing, I didn't really like talking about it because I always had this mentality that, like, no matter what, family comes first. Protecting my family comes first, and that's not only physically, but that's also like the image. So yeah, I would say like those are the things that like I would speak about in my music. But yeah, Ottawa is pretty much where I was raised. It's the city that I represent, and the reason I go by like City Fidelia is because that's the city I'm loyal to, and I plan to contribute to the city with all my strength and my energy to make it a spot for people to come to. I think anybody that comes from lower income environments dabbles in these things a little bit just because like it's a lifestyle and because you know people grow up in neighborhoods where they don't have that much resources and they're constantly reminded that they'll never be something. So when you're growing up and you're a young teenager, the first thing you want to show people is that like, no, I am something. I am capable of buying the things that I want. And that's what leads to some people doing certain things because that's the fastest way they can do it. Nobody wants to go to school not wearing what's cool, or wearing the new brand. So when, you're living in a household that can't afford those things, then you put yourself in a position to get it for yourself. So I think like it's a really deep issue when it comes to it's a systematic problem for sure. And I think it's a thing of like it's a thing of resources being not available to certain people that live in certain areas that make people like dabble in these things. I'm here to tell my story and I'm here to be me. And I think people in the world resonate with people that tell their truth. And that's what's in my music. I tell my truth. I I stay authentic to who I am. And my music is not there to please everybody. It's to help people heal, help people escape from their problems, help people get over their traumas, and to let them know that like they're not the only ones that deals with these problems, and hopefully my music is a soundtrack to help them with that. And that's what, has helped me stay myself, be myself, and not feel like I need to be somebody else. Because at the end of the day, like everyone is special in their own way. It's just nice to see how far we've come as a culture and a diaspora, to compared to like what we were viewed as in the 90s. And I just see us, growing as like a better community and eventually be at a place where we can actually develop our own country, And I think that should be the goal for anybody that's like from a certain country living elsewhere. It's like, man, all the knowledge we're getting from here in North America, all the knowledge, we're getting in Europe, like we should take that knowledge and take it back home because like who else is gonna do it? Who else is gonna support and develop the countries that our parents are from? I'm here to make history. When you step in my studio, the first thing you see is Nipsey Hussle. You open the door, you see a big painting of Nipsey, and I did that on purpose because every time I walked in my studio, I wanted to remind myself of the work ethic, the morals that I need to follow in order to achieve the goals the way I want to. Because it's one thing to achieve goals, but it's another thing when it comes to how you achieve those goals. And I want to achieve my goals being remembered as someone that was authentic and really ethical when it came to doing business. So that's why I have Nipsey on my wall, because it's like at the end of the day, I feel like, yeah, we're nothing without community. You can do things alone, but it's way better when you do it together. There's always a right way to do things, and I like the fact that I've been able to get this far with the respect of the people that I actually care about. And I think nothing is better than that, because you could be a millionaire, you could get everything that you want in life, but if the immediate people in your life don't fuck with you, like, what does all that shit you have really mean at the end of the day? And yeah, to me, that's what's winning the right way. It's me being able to look at my people and be like, whether we did the whole journey together or half the journey together, I did right by you. I think once you allow yourself to understand the core values of everything that's going on, whether it's new or old, once you understand the core values of everything that happens in life, you'll understand the concept of being timeless. And that's what I strive for every time. I strive to be like, yo, what can I do to be timeless? And that's why, like, for sure, I like to have fun. I'm a songwriter too. I like to have fun. I like to make records. But when you hear like, yo, City Fidelia's doing the album, you best believe that like I'm studying. I'm studying from things before me. I'm studying from things after me. And that project is gonna be timeless. You'll be able to hear it 20 years from now and still be like, this feels good. I think that's what life is, man. I think that's what life is. It's finding ways to put things together that make sense to you. Whether it's music, whether it's fashion. I'm not even gonna say fashion, style. Because fashion is very like, whatever the industry says is fashion, that's what fashion is. But when it comes to style, it's you that puts together what you feel represents your expression and put it together. And I feel like that's the beauty of being able to dress up. It's like, yo, this is how I'm feeling today. When you're the plug, everybody wants to get to the plug, because you're the outlet to success, basically. That's how people, it's not necessarily you are, but that's how people view you. You know what I mean? You're the plug, you're the outlet to success. So sometimes people, might not respect your time. They might not understand that, like, yeah, just because I'm in the community doesn't mean like I'm not on the phone having conversations with like American labels or like or I'm not like getting booked for like big events. And I feel like that's where the disconnection happens when people have too much access to you. They forget who you are, really, to be honest. They forget who you are, they forget what made them like you. I do feel my purpose is to like better my community and uplift my community, but but in order to do that, I gotta better myself. So it's the process of me growing as an individual is being okay with the fact that, hey, in order to for you to help your community more, you gotta you gotta grow your own garden. Like you gotta make sure your garden's fire. And then once your garden is fire, you can teach everybody how to grow their garden properly, the same way you did, even better. You know, anybody that can tell you about the experience of dealing with someone that has a drug addiction, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. And so before he passed away, it was like 2 years during the pandemic of a battle. You know what I mean? A battle. Me going to war with people that were giving him the drugs. You know what I mean? Like putting my life on the line for my brother. You know what I mean? It was a battle, and that battle didn't have me necessarily in the best mental space. You know what I mean? Like now looking back at certain decisions I made during that time were not the best decisions, but a lot of the decisions were to kind of like help me escape from my reality. Being a little brother, you always look at you always look at your older brother as a hero. So when you kind of see your hero not believe that he's a hero, it's damaging inside. Like you start feeling like the person you looked up to doesn't even believe in himself. So like you start not believing in yourself, and it's definitely it's a hard battle, you know what I mean? So it's like there's moments where you're like, damn, these conditions are dangerous. These conditions are dangerous when people are doing, fentanyl or getting high. You don't know how they're gonna act, But one thing I respect about myself and my mom is that's like we never stopped fighting. He never had to stay in the street. He always had a home. He always had a home, and the door was always open, no matter how frustrating it was, no matter no matter how dangerous it felt. We fought with him, and I know wherever he's at, he knows that. I do believe that like what my brother wanted from me is to continue to make dope music, continue to be the man I am today, and not be in a position where like I no longer inspire others. He loved that about me. He loved the fact that like the city had respect for me. He loved the fact that like he saw me as a kid, 4, 5, 6, 7, love music, 20 plus years, still doing music and at a high level. Like he fucked with that shit. So for me, I have to, not only live my dream, but live his.